All right, all right, all right. What a disgusting baseball game this has been. Make sure I unmute you, Nick. There we go.
I was saying
I don't know if I can hear you or not. I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. Don't know if the chat can hear me. Off to a little bit of a rocky start. We'll see.
I got to update the J-bar. There we go. Struggling.
Good news is we have Henry Ramos up. That's the good news.
Let's go.
Get the chat going here. Chat, can you hear Nick? I can't hear him. I'm assuming if I can't hear him, you can't hear him. Nick, if you can hear me, then I don't know what to say. Obviously, Sir Boy can hear me because he's all over me with Toxic Trace.
I can hear you.
Bad luck for the Reds. Yeah, I got some thoughts on what's bad luck for the Reds.
Test.
Still nothing from Nick.
I'm here. I hear myself on YouTube, so
we could try to troubleshoot on the fly, Nick. You could have a mute problem. You could have a microphone not plugged in problem.
It's not me. It's not me. It's not me.
Software being stupid problem. I'm not a good lip reader either. Did he just hit
Check
Henry?
The chat.
What just happened? I missed it. What happened? Oh, he hit it off his foot. Damn.
All right.
Let's see. Is the chat saying they can hear you? Because if they can hear you, then I've got something on my end going on.
Hey, like the stream. Hey, Henry Ramos. There we go. Leader of men.
I figured out the problem. Hold on, Nick. I think it's my problem. It's called having children. Changing your setting. That's all it was. I bet I can hear you now. Of course I can. Yeah.
Henry Ramos. Starting the rally. Our guy.
This guy.
You know, whatever happens here is going to be a gold reaction. Either the ground ball double play to end this is going to be gold reaction, or the 2-run home run's going to be golden reaction. I'm not sure what I want.
2-run home run. I mean, it's a 2-run home run. I'll never say his name in vain again. Can't hit. Can't hit.
Good cut.
Slow, lazy. It sounds like we're at a soccer match, though.
I muted it. I'm all about the YouTube stream here. Maybe I should turn it on a little bit so I can hear while I do this. Still trying to figure out the best way to go about like watching the 9th while I'm on YouTube. This is my most awkward part of this. I'm grinding through this like like Hunter Green today.
I feel bad for Hunter.
Oh God! I thought Henry was gonna get picked off. Who's up next, Barrero? I don't know where.
I just don't know how we're even in the spot in this game. Like,
Probably help if I put up today's box score, not yesterday's.
Got some kid yelling in the stands. Come on, 31. Don't even know their players' names out there in Oakland.
Well, I mean, it's not really worth doing a whole lot of research. They're not going to be there long. The players or the team. No way. Attaboy, Kevin! Great hustle, buddy. Great hustle.
Whoa.
Look at that.
What's up with these teams not playing double play
team.
depth? I'm being serious. What's up with these teams not playing double play depth? We didn't do it earlier in the game. Hunter Green had a double play. They decide they're going to rotate their guy over well too far to the left, or in the third base 6 hole, whatever you want to call it. I'm pissed off if I'm that pitcher. I just got a routine double play ball hit up the middle and freaking got the guy shifted all the way over there. And I'll take it though.
Nick Senzel.
The fact that shortstop even threw that ball, and for a half a second I thought he was going to get thrown out, I would have lost it. Can we just get lucky? Can we get lucky? Come on, Nick. Flare one out in the left. Nope.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
I'll pause for like a half a second, Nick.
Sir Boy is doing a live strike ball in the chat.
We don't deserve to lose this game.
Our chat does better play-by-play than we do.
Let's go. If Nick swings at this pitch, he better hit it hard. Let's make this cat prove it. Nope. Ball. By the way, this umpire's been absolutely abysmal. I want to see his umpire card by the end of the night. How fast do they update those? That's not until like a midnight thing, is it?
It's usually not till like the morning is like when the bot puts them out. Yeah, no.
We're not swinging, by the way.
All those calls on Green, and then that one pitch. Who was up there? It was Senzel, but then
let's go.
Not giving in. How about that, Nick Senzel?
No, not Jose.
I actually have this in the game notes. Barrero has chased 6 pitches out of the zone so far today. So I hope to God after he just watched that at bat, he doesn't make it 6, 7, or 7, 8, 9 here. Have a moment, Jose. Or a walk. Oh. Now he figures out how to throw a strike. Can we get a wild pitch? That'd be nice.
What's up with this 2-tap thing, too? I have no confidence in Jose. I'll tell you what. I'll just take a sac fly. I'm not even getting greedy. I just need a run. Please, Jose. Please, lift one to the outfield. No. God, the fact that he's like thinking about swinging at pitches that are in the dirt like that is something.
Sir Boy, I love you. How am I defending him? I just said he has 6 swings at pitches outside the zone today. I'm not defending him. Come on, Sir Boy. Cut me some slack.
Come on, Jose. That's a good pitch. That
is not a pitch Hunter Green guy. No,
it's not, because he throws too hard. The umpire can't keep up.
Did you see dugout? See the dugout clapping for the take? I like that.
If anything, beat out the double play.
That was a good take. That was a really good take.
Good spoil. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Need it, Barrero. Need it, Barrero. We got the Speedy Ramos at third, though. And the Speedy Newman at second, so have no fear. Ow! Damn it!
Guess this didn't go well. Oh, out of the zone. Another chase.
God, dude, just fucking figure it out, man. Excuse my language.
That's an awful day. It's as bad of a offensive game as you can have. All right, pick him up, Fraley. This is a good spot for Fraley.
Get in there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Leave the hitters in the game. Leave the guys that can hit in the game the whole time. We're not switching guys around, so Jake Fraley sits on the bench, TJ Friedel sits on the bench, so we can watch a bunch of bums go out there the whole game and stink it up. Ball hit the bag. Hate to see it. We deserve that.
Yeah, we deserve that. Oh, I gotta update this. I'm so excited. I'm not even updating the score bug. We
deserve
get
that
on this. Let's go, Reds. Alexis Diaz warming up. Uh-oh. What a week, man.
This guy's just painting balls on the outside corner. So sick and tired of having to watch Kevin Newman hit. So sick and tired of watching Barrero hit.
Hey, Newman scored the go-ahead run.
Because he walked. Oh, no, he didn't. I lied. I'll take it back. You're right. He did. He hit a double play ball, and they shifted out. They shifted way too far.
After what we watched to Barrero today, let's give Newman a little bit of.
All right, we got
Alexis,
it done.
Shut him down. Shut him down.
Who's coming in? Sims? Is that his
Alexis.
Cowboys got him coming in? I'm kidding. We deserve that, though.
Go Reds.
I got to mute them. God, it's so frustrating watching this team sometimes. Seriously, man. I'm almost becoming like the hot take fan at this point, I guess. I'm done with it, man. I'm tired of seeing it. I'd rather just bring Matt McClain up. Screw it.
Trace, we're 3 outs away from 5 wins in a row.
I don't give a damn.
Smile, my man. Smile.
I'm so pissed
Smile,
off today.
Trace.
I just watched such bad baseball all over the place. But I am happy. I'm thankful. That's what I call it. Let's go, chat. Let's go, Nick. We need to get this done. Get this done. Let's get this done. Those 2 runs would have been nice right there, but beggars can't be choosy.
On a less positive note, both Brandon Williamson and Joe Boyle did not make it out of the first inning in their starts.
That's great. Good to hear. It's time to put Williamson in the pen.
Yeah, you got to do something with him. It's ugly.
Can you believe we got that ball that hit the bag right there? That's impressive.
I'm surprised it wasn't a line out straight to him.
Shattered bat.
It all goes back to that walk from Henry Ramos. That boy, Cowboy. You let him know. You let him know.
It does. And you know what? I'll give Kevin Newman some props. He at least put the ball in play. Didn't hit it hard, but he hit them where they weren't. Good for him.
Showed off those legs.
Steve, the ball hit the first base bag, ricocheted over top the first baseman, and basically allowed both runs to score easily. Oh, we're bunting on 0-2. I love it. That's the A's way. That's the A's way, Nick. That's what we're doing. I love it, baby. I love it. Tell you what, if for whatever reason it doesn't work out here in Cincinnati, I know one place that David Bell can go.
Man, let's have some positivity in here, man. We're having the best week of the season.
No, we can't be having no to do anything.
3 strikeouts for the guy.
What's that, Noda?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair to him, I mean, the pitches that Hunter Green were making were just ridiculous.
That is true.
They were not that bad at bats. I've watched this game almost every single pitch. It's one of those games where Cowboy, he's been on one, man.
He's frustrated. Here you go. Good pitch.
I'll leave this hat's going. Oh, man. No walks. Come on, fellas. Come on.
Do you not want to walk the guy in front of the AL OPS leader? That would be
Rooker.
not advisable. Yeah.
I just don't like walking guys, period, but definitely not in the spot.
Especially, yeah.
There we go. I'll tell you what, Spencer Steer worries me at first base a little bit. Just not the same. I don't know. Cowboy, he's laughing.
I don't think he's played a lot of first base, though, in defense to him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't think he's comfortable there, to be honest. Just doesn't look as comfortable as he is when he's at third. Yes, he did. He went. Yes, he did. Laser eyes.
That was a bad pitch. Got away with. You do not make that pitch there.
No, he thought it was a fastball in the inside corner, and it just wasn't a fastball.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Wasn't the pitch he was trying to make, but it was certainly a pitch that was tough to lay off.
If everyone likes the stream, it is a fact that the Reds will win this game. So if you don't,
28 in here. Is there any chance
fault.
that we could get 25 likes with 28 people in the stream? I feel like that should be doable.
We do not get the same watch per like ratio that Off the Bench gets, and I'm disappointed.
That's on us. That's called coaching. That's on us. We got to ask. We have lovely people in the chat. Some the finest people in the world are in the chat right now, and they'll hit the like button. You just have to remind them.
All right. I'm working them.
I mean, it's flying up. Come on, Alexis. Come on. We deserve to win this game.
That
hit
is
so many balls hard. Those guys didn't hit hardly any balls hard. They were just finding just flares all over the joint.
Let's go, Reds. 5 in a row. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
man. Nick.
Play the track.
Throw it up.
Track.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the world. Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Diddy. He did. He did. Reds win. Reds win. Line to the right field. Judges.
Let's go.
Can you believe it? The Cincinnati Reds come back and beat the Oakland Athletics, the mighty Oakland Athletics, 3-2. Box score recap isn't going to be as difficult today, Nick. Don't know if you're ready to rock, but I'm going to throw it to you because if you can't handle it, I'll give them the Cliff Note version.
Oh, I got it. All right, let's roll. Reds. They had a good chance in the top of the second. Stevenson and our guy Henry Ramos singled, but Stevenson got doubled off on a fly foul out. The A's right fielder Ramon Laureano made an incredible throw to beat Stevenson by about 10 feet. The A's got 2 runs in the bottom of the second on some bad defense. Nick Senzel made a really nice barehanded grab on a slow dribbler, but then he rushed the throw, had plenty of time, didn't need to rush it, throwing air. Then Henry Ramos got a bad read on a fly ball, missed a diving catch. Then the first run scored on a ground ball that India made way more difficult than it needed to be. A's ended up getting 2 unearned runs off Green to take a 2-0 lead. Then our guy Luke Malley became the first Reds catcher to hit a home run this season in the third inning, cut the deficit to 2-1. Under Green, he gutted through 5 innings. He battled a poor strike zone, a mound that he could not get his footing along, and some really bad defense. Final line, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. Green has only allowed 1 run over his last 3 starts, covering 14 innings pitched. Reds offense couldn't get anything going all night until the 9th. They had 6 hard-hit outs against Kyle Mueller, 6 outs above 95-mile-an-hour exit velocity. Then in the 9th inning, the Reds rallied, Trace. Henry Ramos. What was that?
I said they did what, Nick?
They rallied. Did I say something wrong?
No, I just want to hear you say it again. So what did they do, Nick?
They rollered. They fought back. All right, I got Henry Ramos.
No, you said it right. You said it right. I didn't want to ruin the moment. I just wanted to hear you keep telling me that the Reds rallied. I was going to turn that into a thing.
All right, the Reds rallied. Henry Ramos leadoff walk. Kevin Newman snuck a ball through the middle. Who walked? I forgot who walked. Someone walked, and then Jake Fraley ripped a ball that bounced off the first base bag to give the Reds a 3-2 lead. Alexis Diaz shut the door in the 9th. Your Cincinnati Reds, Trace, they've won 5 in a row. They lost 7 in a row. They got swept in a 4-game series in Pittsburgh last weekend, and they have responded by absolutely manhandling the entire American League West Division.
Hey, and one other thing I want to bring up is that this Reds team, like it or not, you can obviously point towards the front of the jersey and what they've traditionally done throughout their baseball franchise history. But this team has played a difficult schedule up to this point. They've played nothing but good teams after good teams. This is the first series we've played where you obviously could say the team is below 500 or not very good at all, and they're hanging around. You know, we are right around the old 500 line, and you asked for it. You said I would just love by the end of April if this team could be right around 500, and we can have an idea of what our outlook looks like. I think we're in a position at this point where it would be nice to start to kind of settle down and start to figure out a lineup that we trust, and we kind of obviously slowly rotate guys in and out, but it's not like it doesn't feel like it's just a complete lineup shift after any lefty that's throwing, and it's mostly lefties that cause the issues, but if there's this matchup game, at some point I would hope somewhat goes away. I'm not saying completely, but give out Kevin Newman his flowers. He did get a base hit in the 9th that allowed us to win a baseball game, so good for him. But as I said to begin the show off, I'll do better. I remember it's a kid show, but sometimes when you watch Jose Barrera swing at balls that are not strikes like 15 times in a baseball game, sometimes the 4-letter words come to mind, and I just said them out loud. So I will stop doing that. I'm going to try to stop doing that. And probably what I'll end up doing is just muting myself when Jose Barrera comes up to the plate. That'll probably be my way I get around that. That's the loophole, as they say. But I don't want to take anything away from this win at all. We're going to be excited the rest of the stream. I just want to say our defense has to improve. It's mind-boggling that Hunter Green threw as well as he did today, and he had the results that he had. And this is one of those games where, to be completely frank, if you didn't watch the game and you just went and looked at the box score really quickly and you said, oh, there's Hunter Green again, he's throwing 120 pitches, can't get through the fifth inning. This game wasn't like that. He got an extra 10, 15, 20 pitches in that the inning where Ramos misplayed the ball. And Senzel, he made a good barehanded play. He just got to know the situation. He's got to know who's running. And, I mean, the fact of the matter is he had all day to make that throw, and he just rushed the throw and made a poor throw. And that's one of those things where, again, I go back to the idea of Spencer Steer could have picked him up too. It wasn't so bad of a throw that you couldn't pick it out of the dirt. But this team was just bad defensively. So I wanted to run through that. I know we have on the timeline sloppy baseball. I don't know if you have anything to add, Nick. Obviously, I want this to be an upbeat show. We're going to have fun in the chat. We can talk about some things. But we're winning baseball games, which is the most important thing. But anything to add to the sloppiness? Any thoughts, comments, concerns?
Yeah, sloppy baseball and Hunter Green kind of are hand in hand. But yeah, I mean, I feel like he gutted through 5 innings today. That was a strong performance. The fact that I thought he was going to be done after the 4th, but he came back on the 5th, shut the A's down, gave the Reds a chance in this one. I thought this was a really, really strong outing from Hunter Green, all things considered. 3 walks, don't love that, but there was also a really crappy strike zone, so I don't know how much to make it of that. I don't know every single one if there was, missed calls in those. Trying to think back through this, but he only allowed 3 hard hit balls the whole day, and he had 24 swing and misses today. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then 11 of the 21 sliders that the A's swung at were swing and misses. So that slider was just filthy today. When he was able to get in the zone, he did miss it a lot, but when he got it close to the zone, or at least was able to get the A's to swing or fool them on it, it was absolutely dynamite.
Well, I think sticking on Hunter Green here, this was one of the outings that I think I was most impressed with that I've watched for him throw all year. I think it's his best outing. Now, it was the worst team he's faced, so I'm going to take that with a little grain of salt, as they say. But you can see why you would want to extend a guy like this. You put out the tweet today that Hunter Green's 22 years old. It wasn't Scherzer. Who was the guy? DeGrom.
Jacob DeGrom.
So Jacob DeGrom, you said, was 22 years old. He was in rookie ball. So it is a reminder that, hey, this kid is really, really young, and he does have electric stuff. And I think that today he battled, to your point. I think he took it personal a little bit to try to get out of that 5th inning. And shout out to Malley for throwing out that guy at second base. The A's kind of allowed him to get out of the 5th, in my opinion, a little easier than I would have liked if I was an A's fan. There's only like 10 of them, so I'm sure there's not many that are mad. But I just wouldn't have ran in that situation because it just seemed like things were kind of starting to snowball out of control for Hunter a little bit. And, he got that throw out at second base, and it kind of revamped him a little bit, allowed him to get to the 5th. And then, again, we don't have it on the rundown, but I'm a firm believer in this. I've seen some people in the chat. I'll give somebody their credit. I think I've seen David. What about this bullpen? This bullpen, just saying, may be the strength of this baseball team. It might be the very best thing that this team has. They're starting pitching, no doubt. Top 3 guys, we'd like to think that might be the best asset this team has. But the truth is there's 5 guys that have to run out there. So in my opinion, at this very moment, this bullpen is without question the best asset that this baseball team has. Defensively, they're not very good. This lineup is very inconsistent in regards to what you're going to get out of guys from time to time. And until we are able to figure out this whole left-handed pitching situation, I'm not going to put the bullpen above or the bullpen below the lineup. So I know at the beginning of the year, it was it just goes to show you 162 games is a really long season, and you're going to find out really what you truly have. And it's easy to overreact in April. And, and perhaps I've overreacted a little bit with certain things without question, but we can't, I'm not going to go a show without mentioning the bullpen every time they keep shoving. So.
Yeah, I mean, how about Alex Young? 0.71 ERA. He's just been incredible. I think I have it somewhere. 2 walks, 18 strikeouts, something like that. 2 walks, 18 strikeouts. I mean, he's just been incredible. And then Alexis Diaz, Reds just tweeted this out. 19 of the 33 batters he's faced, he's struck out. I mean, this bullpen's just been incredible. Jabbo and Legumina, they got out of some jams in this one as well. Entire Red staff, 5 hard hit balls allowed today. I mean, some of that's the A's, obviously, but some of that's really good pitching. So, when the offense wasn't able to really get anything going other than the Luke Malley just take job until the 9th, the pitching kept him in it and gave him a chance. And this easily could have been the kind of game that was 5-2, 6-2 going to the 9th, and the Reds would have had no chance. So, the bullpen and Hunter Green deserves a ton of credit.
Yeah, and I want to bring up something today from the lineup's perspective. Listen, they hit a lot of balls really, really hard, right? I think, in fairness, it's easy to look at that game and say you only have, 1 run going into the 9th inning against the Oakland A's. That's a little bit of a lazy take just because the amount of balls they hit incredibly hard were just unlucky. I mean, it really was incredibly unlucky. Fairchild had guy on third base. I think India was standing on third base with 1 out and hit an absolute seed to the third baseman, and he just caught it and stepped on the bag, and there's your double play. I mean, if that ball gets elevated by 1 degree off the baseball bat, it's probably a double. And if it's not a double, then if at the very least it's a sac fly to tie the game. So those are the things that, I get it. Over the course of 162, it probably evens out. But today it felt like the ball just wasn't bouncing the Reds' way. It felt like the Reds outplayed them the whole game. When I was watching it, never for 1 second did I feel like the Reds were just not the superior team, which brings me to my point. That ball hitting the bag in the 9th inning felt like we deserved it. It just truly felt like that was supposed to happen because the baseball gods couldn't let this game go without us getting at least 1 break, and we finally got it in the 9th inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, Fred M. pointing out in the chat, Henry Ramos is undefeated. Thanks for watching, Fred. That's a great point. It
is. And the best thing about it is just how everybody's so irritated that he got brought up when he got brought up. That is maybe the best part of all of it. Matt Reynolds is undefeated too, so keep it going.
Yeah.
Something to think about. Where do we go from here? I think we should jump in the chat. I seen one fun question really quickly. If Senzel truly breaks out this year, do you think the Reds are going to hold on to him or they move him? I don't think they're going to move him because there's just no value there. There's no value, I don't think anyone else is going to want him, Jackson. So, and if they do want him, they're not going to give up anything at all in return. So we're keeping Nick Senzel. He's ours to keep, like it or not. So,
yeah, you're writing out Nick Senzel. If you want to trade Nick Senzel, you should have done that a long time ago. At this point, he is what he is. Yep. No one's gonna give you anything for a guy that has a lot to prove. But hey, he's had a really good week, and I hope he keeps going. He's had really just other than just the hits, he's had quality at bats. I mean, laying off tough pitches. He had a walk. He had 2 walks today, right? He had a walk in that 9th inning rally. Where he laid off some really tough pitches. He's competing. And even saw on that ball at third base, the one that he made the really great barehanded grab, but then threw it away. You could tell how much that irked him. He wants it. You can really tell, how much he wants to, play well and. I just think he's been awesome this past week, and just a really breath of fresh air. I didn't see this coming.
A lot of these guys are competing, man. I listen. This team, like I said before, the A's are a little bit different because they are really, really bad. But most of the time, most teams compete, but not all of them do. If we're being honest, not all of them actually are super competitive. This Reds team is competitive, whether they win. As many games as everyone thought they were going to win, or they lose more games than everyone thought they were going to win. They truly do have some competitive warfare going out there on any given night and day. So Senzel, I just don't know where he winds up. I think the perfect situation, if we're being completely frank, and I'm not trying to say that this team. Let me be very clear when I say this, because I think this is what Twitter does. They'll overreact, and a lot of fans will overreact, and they'll have blinders on, and and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like the fact that people think Jonathan India makes 2 plays yesterday, and the next thing you know, he can actually play second base. That's just being a fan. And you know what? I wish there was times where I could be that blissful. Like I just see it for what it is, kind of. At least that's how I feel about it. I would love if we really could just get on with it. And what I mean by that is if we move Spencer Steer back to third base, we brought up CES, and he plays first base. And Matt McLain comes up, and maybe Matt McLain does play shortstop. Maybe I can see and say, okay, maybe he does play shortstop. But I would just much rather get in a position where India goes to DH or India goes to left field, and you slide in McLain, and you keep Barrero for a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer, Nick, but you got to give him a little more run, to be fair to Barrero, as much as he irritates me sometimes. And then you got a rotation of guys in the outfield between Senzel, Fraley, all the guys. I don't want to go through them all. Friedel. But I really would love to see that. I don't know when that happens or if it ever happens, but you got to think that this ownership group / front office, I'll throw out a hypothetical to you, which isn't fair, but I want to see what your thought is. If they were to win out on this road trip, which is a lot to ask, at what point do they shift the narrative and think, maybe we do want to bring some of these guys up to see if we can't get some help at positions that we know that we need some help at?
Let's slow down on the win out on the road trip, because the Reds went 0-6 against the Padres last year.
Well, I said it was a lot, but I'm just throwing out the pain. Like, what does it take for this front office to shift the narrative from going, okay, we're playing for next year, to let's start to try to help these guys at the big league level and see if we can't give them a little bit of a pat on the tail?
I think they're quite a ways away from that.
All right, fair.
I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that. I think they'd have to get into like late June and be competing for it to change any overall mindset. I don't know on Barrero, man. One day I'm like, yeah, we got to give him another month or two, and then after today I'm like, yeah, just bring up McLain. Let's move on. That's Jose Barrero in a nutshell for you. I don't know what to think. On India, I think the Reds made a mistake not moving him to the outfield before the season started. I said they should have done that this offseason. I don't know why they decided to give him another year.
I'll tell you why.
I don't know if maybe
you're not going to want to hear it.
Why?
Because he has a lot more value at second base, and if he can just somehow play to somewhat of an average level at second base by the deadline, I mean, you can kill me, crucify me. I'm not suggesting one iota that that's what they should do. I'm just saying, as soon as you move him to left field, it is admittingly saying to the rest of the league that all of our thought process believes that he could not play second base, which infinitely makes him much, much lesser of a value. He's much more valuable in left field for us, personally, as a team. But to other teams, if we can convince them that he can play second base, he's going to hold a lot more value. So if you're Nick Krall, you're thinking in your mind, like, I got all these young guys coming up. That's the part of it. And let's not even get into that. We're going to do this every damn show. It's just like, that's what I think it is, Nick. I really do think it's that. I don't think they want to lose the value out of him yet. And they're going to wait until the very end to figure out if they want to move him or not. And they know behind the scenes this team wasn't very good. But they didn't know. I'll tell you this. They didn't know what they were going to get out of Steer, right? And they got a pretty damn good player. They didn't know what they were going to get out of Friedel. They got a pretty damn good player so far. Now, I get it. It's April 29th. It's early. These guys could start slumping and not playing well. But, Yeah,
I mean, that is the only thing that really does make sense on India is if you were thinking about trading. Because if you're planning on keeping him, it just didn't make sense to not just go and start this process. But, yeah, I mean, to your point, I think you could potentially convince another GM. I know they see the same stats we're looking at. But when you're a GM of a team and your job's on the line, right, and your second baseman goes down, you might be like, well, you know what, maybe India's defense isn't that bad. He can pass for 2 months and be that guy that could fill us up. Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I think you're spot on there. But if they're not going to trade him, they need to move him. But I also don't think it's fair to move him middle of the season either. I don't think it's fair to move him to left field.
Yeah.
Like, you should have given him a whole offseason. So They're in a weird spot with him, but he is hitting the ball hard. Let's not forget about that. He's hitting the ball
India?
hard. Three more.
Dude, Jonathan
hard
India is a hell of
today.
Jonathan India is a hell of a baseball player. Let's not to get lost. I mean, he is a hell of a baseball player, and I like his attitude. I think he's a great. He looks like a great leader. All the things that you'd want. He is everything. And he played great today. Outside of the, you just got to make that play. Now, to be fair to him, he made it look, in my opinion, a little harder than it needed to be. And on top of that, that's not an error. That's why sometimes, again, until you get into the metrics of all of it, sometimes just looking at a guy's errors and things like that doesn't paint the whole picture. Ramos doesn't get charged for an error in right field today, but he misread that ball. He should have caught that ball. India doesn't get charged with an error today, but he was shifted over to the middle of the infield. The ball wasn't hit hard. It went right through the middle. That's here nor there. Ronnie wants to talk about the Reds win today. They don't happen. They don't last long. I don't want to lose sight of that. We talked about it at relative length already. I mean, it felt like the Reds were the better team all game long. It just, nothing was going their way, and it finally did, and the Cowboys said it relatively eloquently that, you can't start pressing when you're hitting the ball hard and things aren't going your way. You just got to keep having good at-bats, and eventually the dam's going to break. It broke a little later than we all wanted, but I do feel like we're, as a team right now, clicking. We're confident. We do think we're going to get that hit now, Nick. A week ago, I think we were in the mindset that everything was going to go wrong. Everything that could go wrong would go wrong. Now I do think this team kind of has this thought process that the guy behind him is going to make the play or they're going to get out of it. Hunter Green got out of one big spot. He got out of a bases-loaded jam. So there was some spots where we got out of today that's kind of kept us in the game.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that game where we go into the series. Well, the Reds feel like they should sweep the A's, but baseball's a funny game and stuff happens. And it felt like, well, today's that one funny game where they should win, but it's not gonna happen. But credit that ninth inning rally was impressive. And look, Familia's a terrible pitcher. Like, let's not kid ourselves. He's really bad. Probably the worst closer in baseball. He's only the closer because their other guy got hurt.
He didn't give up a hard bit ball.
But nonetheless, I mean, they did. You have a bunch of young guys that are trying to prove themselves, and Henry Ramos took a walk. Nick Senzel took a walk. I mean, they didn't, try to do too much. They just all had competitive at bats, and then Jake Fraley's that guy right now. Like I mentioned yesterday, he's looking like that guy. That is the guy that's going to mash the right-handed pitching that the Reds desperately need because they don't have anyone else that does that.
We need somebody that can mash left-handed pitching. So
I think India and Steer had,
but they're in the lineup every day. I'm saying, like, if you're going to take Fraley out of the game, someone has to come in and hit the ball. I guess, like I said, I can't crush Kevin Newman too much, but that ultimately is the guy, right? I mean, because they're moving Barrero out to center field. They're putting Newman in at shortstop for the lefty situation. I guess we're just gonna keep on hanging on to this Newman thing for, I don't know how long we're gonna do that, but I guess I'll just gut it out. Kind of feels like school right now. Kind of feels like when you're like the smartest kid in the class and you're just like, oh gosh, when's this class over? Like, I already know. I'm just buying my time. I can see what's going to happen down the line. He's not going to be a part of it, but I got to watch this. But anyway, some Reds MLB. I know that we'll get into that. We'll get into the chat really quickly at the end. We'll dunk a basketball, and we'll let all of you guys go enjoy your Saturday, and we'll be back here better than ever tomorrow. Nick, what do you have for the Reds MILB? For those that are keeping track, that is minor league baseball for your Cincinnati Reds.
We're kind of all over the place. We got games going on right now, games that were rain delayed. Louisville was rain delayed for a couple hours, but they are down 11-0. Brandon Williamson did not make it out of the first inning.
He needs to move the bullpen now.
You got to do something with him. I mean, moving to the bullpen for a couple weeks just to give him a different look. I don't know. 8 earned runs, like
Yeah, you
2
got to
home
switch it
runs.
up. Got to switch it up.
Just
What Will Benson do? You got that on you?
Will Benson is 1-for-1.
Oh yeah, good for Will.
No, none of the other big guys have a hit, but Will Benson does. Over in Double A, Chattanooga is down 13-6. That is in the first game of the doubleheader. More not fun news. Joe Boyle also did not make it out of the first inning. He allowed 3 walks, could not throw strikes at all. So a rough day for him. But on a positive side, Noelvi Marte so far is 2 for 4 with a double. And then Chattanooga, if you are looking for something to do tonight, they are playing a doubleheader. So they'll be doing one more after this. So watch a little Chattanooga Lookout, Rocket City Trash Pandas baseball. And then the Dayton Dragons, the Trash Pandas, Dayton Dragons, they're the one that went final. They lost 5-4. Couple notes on them. If I can find them, I wrote them down. I don't know where they went. Sorry. Riveting television. There was just so much to happen at the end of this game. It kind of threw me off. Dragons fall to 7-13 in the season. The Dragons also got the one-run blues. They are 0-7 in one-run games this season. Edwin Arroyo did not play. Blake Dunn, though, I tell you what, that guy is a hell of a player for the Dragons. If you go to a Dayton Dragons game, find Blake Dunn on the field and just watch him. He's an awesome player to watch. Had a really good day today. I think he had 3 hits. Julian Aguiar, a pitcher that I really like. Average game today. Allowed 2 runs. Did strike out 4, but walked 3. It was kind of all over the place. But that's your Reds MILB update presented by Betfred Sportsbook.
Shout out Betfred Sportsbook, the sportsbook of Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus in Ohio. David brings up a good question in the chat. He said, who makes the call about moving Williamson to the bullpen? And he said, Crawl, question mark. I think that does it have to be Crawl? I think that that's probably the guy, right?
Well, Derek Johnson is the director of organizational pitching or some title like that. So I would imagine he probably has some sort of consultation in that at least. But yeah, I don't know. Do something. Just do something to do something with him at this point. What do you have to lose, right? And it doesn't even need to be a forever move. Just maybe even do. Maybe even I know they do this a lot in Dayton. Maybe do like the piggyback starts or have him come in the 4th inning and pitch 4 innings still. Just do something to change it up with him. I don't know. But I just what a disappointment. Thank God Jake Fraley has looked as good as he's looked. That trade would really be a sour one. And Connor Phillips.
Yeah, Connor Phillips. Let's wait a minute. Let's before we jump conclusions on that trade, let's give Connor Phillips a little bit of time.
Well, I'm just saying that the trade when it happened, Connor Phillips was the player to be named later, so he wasn't even announced. So it was the Reds are getting Brandon Williamson and Justin Dunn. Those were like the guys, and then Jake Fraley is just this nice little throw-in piece that can, be a 5th outfielder or something, and it's been completely flipped. It's funny how trades work out. That it's never or not always what you expect.
Sirboy brings up the Kyle Body thing. I'm gonna see if I can't find the tweet on Kyle Body. I don't think that it was as bad as some are making it out to be.
I think you need more. I think you need more context. You need more context on that because he's taken a lot. If this was a one-off thing where he was replying, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. But he's made a lot of these little sly comments at the Reds. If you're trying to go back and find his old tweets from, months ago, he deletes all his old tweets, so you can't find them. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, he takes a lot of cheap shots. I don't know. Everyone was so bent out of shape when he left the Reds. But if this guy was that big of a game changer for pitching development, why has no other team made him an offer he can't resist?
All right, so I'm going to read it for the people that listen to the podcast in the morning. Kyle Body, who obviously used to be, I don't know what his title was for the Cincinnati Reds, but he obviously was kind of the pitching development coordinator or something along those lines. He came from the Driveline baseball school of thought And he said, at the end of the day, I don't begrudge any Reds fans who is extremely angry about the ML payroll situation. Major League, obviously, is what he's referring to. I completely understand as someone from Cleveland. However, when fans assume that I also hate ownership and lump me into that bucket, I can't let it go unchecked because, believe it or not, MLB owners / front office execs love to scour social media and draw conclusions from threads that I do or do not participate in. As everyone knows, when someone accuses you of something and you stay silent, some people take that as the least charitable angle. And look, just so no one gets it confused, I don't think that what Cincinnati is doing is going to work. I'm not their largest defender or some patsy for ownership. In my opinion, that is how they evaluate and develop talent. It is my opinion that how they evaluate and develop talent is likely to be ineffective, but only time will tell. So that's like the side jab at the end that many are referring to. And look, I hate to say this, but I think development this is one of those ones where I don't want to go too far. I think it gets blown out of proportion a little too much. I do think that you can make guys a little bit better, but at the end of the day, these are professional athletes. It comes down to their work ethic and their skill set and their ability to be able to execute when it matters the most. That's why when I judge David Bell and honestly even Derek Johnson to a certain extent, I judge them more off of the X's and O's decisions on what they decide to do and their leadership style more than anything. I don't think you can take a Major League Baseball hitter and take him down to the cage and be like, hey, your back foot's doing this or your hands are doing that. They got video. Those guys know more about their swing or their pitching motion than anyone in the world. Now, it doesn't mean they can't get tips that might be able to help them get out of a mental block or things like that, but that's the truth. And, as far as the quota, if you can scout well and you can draft well and you got a guy in the front office that has a plan, then you can win. I don't know if you're going to be able to get a guy to come in and turn a bunch of pitchers into Nolan Ryan. Maybe that's old school thinking.
I don't know, the Hunter Green guy, Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft, Andrew Abbott, Connor Phillips. I don't know, these guys look pretty good, so they've somehow survived without
Kyle,
the former director of pitching. Yeah, I don't know. It's surprising. I can't believe they were able to survive without him. Just a credit to how good they are, I guess.
Firing shots.
No, this dude annoys me because you parted ways. Just shut up about it. Like, why do you need to take these shots? Like, it doesn't make him look good. I cannot imagine that other teams across baseball are like, yeah, this guy's dunking on the Reds. Like, no, they're like, dude, you look kind of sour. It's not a good look. Give it up. Reds have won 5 in a row.
That's right. The Reds have won how many games in a row, Nick?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 in a row. All right. That brings me to my last question of the day and the poll. I'm going to make it a poll question here, and we'll leave you on this. I put out a tweet the other day that what happens with professional sports franchises with retiring numbers? At some point, you run out of numbers because you have so many great players in your organization that you legit just run out of numbers. When do we as a professional franchise or the culture that is sports decide that we're going to allow people to wear those said retired numbers again? And don't you think, this is my opinion, don't you think it would be more of a honor and a kind of a spotlight on a player if their number was allowed to be worn, which it would be worn probably a lot, but they had a nice patch, like a classy patch on the uniform that had their initials and maybe some kind of little inscription at the bottom of when, the time that they spent or the time that they played for that organization. And it just like you would remember or see them like all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like they would come up all the time. Now it's like you don't ever think about any of these retired numbers. You don't, it's like my son isn't ever going to ask me, and this might sound terrible, and I could say, obviously I can teach him as a dad, but it's like he's not going to ask me who's number 5 for the Reds. Like, why isn't no one allowed to wear number 5 for the Reds? So that's just my overall thought on it. It would be cool to have numbers out there again that were old Cincinnati Reds greats. It just would. Plus, I'd like some of our infielders to finally be able to wear like numbers that actually seem like they're on the lower end, because we don't have too many single-digit numbers left.
I don't know. I think Henry Ramos should be like 99. Doesn't he feel like a 99 guy?
Oh man, like Puig.
Maybe 98.
Is Ellie De La Cruz going to stick with 44?
I would think so.
Feels
I
gross,
think that
kind of, doesn't it? Doesn't that kind of feel gross? No.
No, I mean, as an Aristides Aquino lover, I love that Ellie's holding it down. I don't know if there's anyone else to wear number 44 that was any good on the Reds. I'm kidding. Eric Davis and Adam Dunn also wore 44. I think it's cool that he's wearing 44 like that. Like he feels like the next Eric Davis. Like that's like the best like comp of a player that's ever played for the Reds. So I think it's kind of cool. And that, I think, kind of goes with your point of like not retiring everyone's number. Then you have the next player that kind of feels that same. He kind of carries on that tradition and that legacy. So I like it.
Yeah. Steve Cashman says Vassar would look great in a number 14 uniform.
That's a good comment. That's a good comment.
I'll tell you this, maybe that's the secret. Maybe that's the secret sauce we've been missing out on for the longest time. We haven't had a good shortstop since Barry Larkin. Maybe if we could just throw somebody in number 11, get a little mojo going out there, and next thing you know, voila, boom, just like that, Kevin Newman's out there making plays left and right. He just has to dump Ernst concrete out of his shoes before he goes out and decides to play.
I would pay a lot of money to see Barry Larkin's reaction in the booth if Kevin Newman came out wearing number 11. Oh, that would be incredible.
All right, we'll have a little bit more fun with the chat really quickly, and then we will be back better than ever tomorrow. We do appreciate you guys tuning in here. The fact that we have this lovely of a chat every single game is it's a blessing, if we want to be downright honest about it. It's like a decent amount of people are okay with the idea of them trying to change the retired number situation. I thought that maybe it would be like overwhelmingly different, but no, it's 60-40. 60% think that they'd be okay with the change, with having retired numbers kind of make their way back on the field again.
Maybe it should be a Hall of Fame only. Like you have to make the National Baseball Hall of Fame for it to be a retired number.
Yeah. I just think like Christian Encarnacion Strand, if he wants to wear number 24, it would be really cool if he wore number 24.
Okay.
Right? Like if Matt McLean wanted to wear, number 11, that'd be cool. But they can't. And it would be really, really, it would kind of be like I guess it would be bad mojo. Like, I guess it would be Matt. This is a hypothetical that just should make no sense, and it probably doesn't. That's what we do here on the internet. Like, what if Ellie De La Cruz's like favorite number, his lucky number was number 5, and he wore number 5 his whole entire life, his whole career, and it's like he gets the major leagues, and now he's got to pick a different number. Like, I don't know, man. That seems like bad mojo. Ben in the chat said Nick Bodie should stick to chess. Not a bad idea. Who would win, Nick Bodie in chess or Joey Votto?
Joey, come on now.
Yeah. I agree. All right, I don't see any more chat. Congratulations to all the folks that love the NFL draft. That is near complete. I do love the overreactions that come with the NFL draft. Nobody has a clue what they're getting. Nobody has a clue how good the players are, but everybody has an opinion on them. And then 3 to 4 years down the line, everybody's got a whole other opinion on who they should have drafted or not. It's quite the circle. Everybody's saying Green Bay reached. I am a Green Bay fan. We'll see if they reached. I don't really care. I know one thing. Casey McAllister was telling me that they needed to draft DeJuan Jones at 28. And he went 111 to the Cleveland Browns. So there's that. All right, Nick. Tomorrow's starters, Does Oakland even have a guy that they're going to have that comes out or no?
They do got one. Give me 1 second here. Talk a little bit more about the riveting National Football League draft.
I could care less about the National Football League. I at this very moment, to be clear, this very moment, the chat's always telling me who's reaching, who's not. There he is. Old Waldy Chucky.
On the fly. Forgot to make the graphic, but still found a way to get
Let
it
him
up.
know who's pitching tomorrow, Nick.
I do got notes, though. I got notes. I didn't have a graphic. Ken Waldichuk, he was the prize return for Frankie Montas from the Yankees last year. Pitched in the Futures game last year for the Yankees. But as you see on that sparkling 7.82 ERA, not off to the greatest start. And good news maybe for Jose Barrero. He has allowed an OPS of over 1,100 to the bottom of the order. Just a random stat that I found on him. So Ken Waldichuk for the A's. Maybe that's the secret sauce. But another lefty. The Reds are going to see 3 lefties in a row, likely. Supposed to be Blake Snell on Monday. And then Nick Lodolo. Last 2 starts were pretty rough. 21 hits and 8.2 innings. Both against American League teams. So hopefully he can get back on track. Obviously, this is a pretty good lineup for that. I mean, he's already allowed 6 home runs this year. That's kind of the most, alarming thing. But this is, of course, a good ballpark to not allow home runs. Really hard to hit home runs in this ballpark, unless you're Luke Malley. That's the only way you can hit a home run. So
true. This is true.
But yeah, I mean, Reds going for a sweep. I mean, yeah. Obviously, we wanted just a series win going into this, but
right.
You got a chance to out a sweep, and this is the kind of games we talked about. If you want to hang around 500, you need to win these kind of games. If you want to, be a 70 and 92 team, you probably lose these games. That's probably how the season will play out if we're kind of being honest. So go
All
Reds.
Right. There's one thing left to do. You guys know what it is. We're going to dunk a basketball again because at this point, there's 2 things that I'm going to have to do. One is I'm going to have to do a wellness check on the hoop here probably after this dunk to make sure that everything's still screwed into the walls tight. Everything's perfectly fine. Second thing, I'm going to have to go buy some more fine Pilsner is what we're going to call it. Largely because I'm not a guy that usually cracks them open, and that's perfectly fine. Not saying that you shouldn't or should, but I'm not a guy that traditionally does. Usually just a social kind of guy. Have a couple people over, have a couple with my friends. But if I'm going to do this every night, the Reds are going to turn me into a situation where I'm going to have to go find a second job. Because I don't know if you've been to the stores lately, but inflation is right through the roof. That's here nor there. We'll talk about that another day. But more importantly, let's get this dunk. And as always, I'm going to tell you something. Nick, I want you to throw the graphic up there before I start this music and before I make this dunk. And that is the fact that I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go leave us a review. Write something nice, okay? Go to Chatterbox Reds. It's on all the podcasts. You go, hell, we're on so many things I don't even know we're on. We're on like iHeart. We're on like Spotify. We're on obviously Apple Podcasts. I think we're on Google Podcasts. We're on like, I don't know what we're on. We're on so many damn things that if you can't find us, you're blind.
And all the links are now in the YouTube description. Actually added those this afternoon. So all the links to the different sites, all in the YouTube description.
Okay. You heard the man. There's only one thing that's left to do. And that is, one, I got a little man now. Little girl, I should say. You want to dunk a basketball? Yeah?
Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Better than ever. Teamwork.
Alley-oop.
Teamwork makes the dream work, people. Teamwork makes the dream work. You ready for this? Be back better than ever tomorrow. See ya.